Big developments in the last 24 hours in the legal fight over the state Supreme Court election. Republican Jefferson Griffin still 734 votes behind Democrat Allison Riggs. He's asking the courts to throw out more than 60,000 ballots from early voters, folks who are more likely to vote for a Democrat. If he wins in court, he could end up winning the seat. But his request hit a speed bump last night at the state Supreme Court. WRAL Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie joining us now in the studio with what happened here. Laura.
Dan, Griffin had asked the state Supreme Court to take up his case directly, bypassing the lower courts. Well, the justices all ruled against that, although every single judge filed an individual opinion about their particular reasoning for that. Republicans on the court declined to throw out Griffin's lawsuit entirely, sending it down instead to the trial court to work its way through the process. The only Democrat on the court, Anita Earl, said in her opinion they should have dismissed the case, which she says lacks any legal merit. In the meantime, this case is also working its way through federal court, pretty unusual, and that's where a group of political scholars filed a brief today in support of Riggs, who has asked the federal appeals court to intervene in the lawsuit and take this case out of the state court. These scholars study governments around the world, focusing on how democracy has lost ground in some countries like Hungary and Venezuela. They say democracy is also losing ground in North Carolina due to partisan politics and gerrymandering. Avi Savitsky, a lawyer with the ACLU, says the idea of letting courts overturn the results of a free and fair election is setting off alarm bells for those scholars.
If we saw this happening in another country, we would know what to call it, and we shouldn't look away and treat this like it's just an ordinary legal dispute. This is a threat to democracy in North Carolina and should be treated that way.
Savitsky said the Republican majority's decision to allow the case to continue at the state level proves the need for federal courts to intervene. Now, others on both sides of this political spectrum on this have made similar points, saying voters won't have much confidence in future elections in North Carolina if losers can just go to the courts and throw out ballots after the fact until it changes the election results and they win. Griffin has declined to comment on this case, so I asked the state Republican Party for a response. A spokesman declined to comment, saying the lawsuit speaks for them. Laura Leslie, WRAL News, Raleigh.